Hi there folks, my name's NovaWrap and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 21st of July 2019 for another episode, and we're going to jump straight into it this week with some ESP platform releases, and the guys over at Just Flight are continuing on with their continuing update in their Real Scenery Next Gen 3D series of the United Kingdom with the release of Volume 3 Northern England. So, pretty much just in the same vein that they've done in the previous two volumes, Volume 1 and Volume 2, Volume 3 just continues on with providing distinctly beautiful, highly detailed photoreal scenery for the northern parts of the United Kingdom. So this one's sort of stretching from Manchester all the way up to the Scottish border. Now, again, a couple of things, the key takes out of this, it pretty much goes across the rest of the series. It's based on 2015 and newer satellite and aerial photography with 25 centimeter to 50 centimeter per pixel resolution. So this resolution pictures, which is it's based on, which is pretty highly detailed for photoreal, that's for sure. And then you got texture resolution, sort of everything from 60 centimeters per pixel all the way up to 1.2 meters per pixel. So you've got a lot of stuff going on here. You've also got 5 meter ultra high definition terrain mesh have been included as well for this part of the United Kingdom. You've this vast slew of custom scenery objects, default adjusted positionings of the default landmark objects as well, a set of custom night textures as well, updated with all the water areas as well, with custom masking to make sure that all water is correctly masked as water. A few other things as well, but probably the one thing that's a big one here that I sort of pick up on is the fact that they actually correct the default airports as well and where they're positioned, which can play a bit of havoc if you're playing multiplayer, but at the same time it's great that it actually sort of moves it into line with the photoreal scenery. For example, like this photoreal scenery at the moment that I've just been working on a review for, which you should see in the next hopefully the next couple of days, where that's actually one of the drawbacks of it, is that sort of, you've got this beautiful set of photoreal scenery, and then it shows how off the default airports are. When you look down, you see that nothing quite lines up. So it's really great to see the developers actually gone that extra mile. The Just Flight have gone that extra mile to actually change and adjust the default airport objects as well to actually get it in line as well, so which is pretty cool. There's a whole slew of airports that are listed through here as well, as pretty compatible with all other general scenery as well, which is always great to see. And yeah, overall, just a pretty great, pretty good set of kit to come through. As I said, this is Volume 3. This is a 4-volume suite that they're offering, so there's still one more volume to go, which will be Scotland and the Hebrides once that is available, which we're hoping to see before the end of the year. If you are a previous owner of the previous VFR Real Scenery add-ons in their first sort of their first incarnation a few years ago, or alternatively, if you had previously purchased either Volume 1 or Volume 2 of the Next Gen 3D Sceneries in this release, then you are entitled to a discount of up to $8 off your purchase as well. All the details should have been emailed to you or available on the Just Flight website. Otherwise, if you are picking this one up, you are looking at paying $38 or your region equivalent, available now from Just Flight. Continuing on with ESP platform releases, but this time in a Prepared V4 exclusive release, the guys over at Captain Sim have rebooted their rendition of the L1011. So the famous, I think I'm going to go with famous TriStar, Lucky TriStar, has come back and been brought forward into the Prepared V4 in the 64-bit era. There's not a great deal sort of new in it. Essentially, it is a port of the 32-bit version. It does, however, have some updated avionics, including the inertial navigation systems had a complete revamp and updated, be more in line with its real-life SIVA brethren. It has had some texture updates as well, but otherwise the basic model hasn't actually changed that much. That's all sort of kept the same as well. Comes through now. This is available as the base pack, which is the passenger version. And there's also a freighter expansion for those who want to choose the freight variant. Personally, for me, I will probably be going with the freight. If I pick this one up, I'll be picking it up for the freight variant. I've been getting back into my Air Hauler 2 lately, and I've been mucking around a bit with doing flying around with the VC10. So it's inertial navigation is a nightmare, but at the same time, it's kind of a challenge. I kind of really like the challenge. It's none of this sort of press a couple of buttons and sort of, everything flies itself. You've actually got to pay attention. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, just recapping the basic features of this one is you've got a fully functional flight deck with accurate system simulation, including the updated SIVA inertial navigation system. You've got updated lighting as well, which is probably one of the big updates to come through in the prepared V4 engine. Support for weather radars as well, high resolution textures both internally and externally. You've got the full virtual cockpit, but you also have 2D panels as well. You've got hundreds of realistic animations, including wing flex as well, and I think that is also new as well. And volumetric lighting is included as well. You also get a fuel and payload manager, authentic engine sound set, I believe supplied by the guys from TSS as well, I think as well, and your ability to put your own liveries on, and of course the freighter variant also includes animated loader, and you've got these and cargo management panels all included as well. So the base pack is for this one's coming in at $50 US, and the freighter expansion is coming in at $20 US, available now from Captain Sim. Continuing on with another release, this one for all of the ESP platforms from one of my favorite developers is Golden Age Simulations. They've released their latest aircraft of a bygone era by releasing the Fleet 16B Finch 2. So that mouthful is essentially a two-seat trainer that was designed and produced in Canada, in Ontario, I do believe. And were delivered into the in several years, produced and delivered over several years, starting in 1939 at the outbreak of war, to serve part of the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan, and served as a very important primary trainer alongside other aircraft, including American Stearmans, in training many Commonwealth and American pilots up in Canada. So it serves a very important role. It was very interesting and sort of weirdly unique in the fact that it was a biplane, but it had an enclosed cockpit. So it was fairly interesting. Is that there were some variants that had open cockpits and some that had closed cockpits. So it was interesting that it had a couple of variants, and both variants are actually modeled as well as and are available for you to actually choose to muck around with and fly. There's also a couple of civilian variants as well that you can muck around with fly, as many of them found their way into civilian service post-war as well. Very high resolution model coming through here with a variety of animations come through, fully detailed Kinner B5R 5-cylinder radial engine, high resolution 4K textures throughout the internal and external, fully animated VC cockpit and shadowing, and 3D model gauges, volumetric propeller textures, high fidelity sound files are included as well, recorded from an actual engine, and fully animated pilot figures and paint kit. And this one, as I said at the earlier start, is fully compatible with all of the ESP platforms, so F6 and prepared in all its glory, available now for coming in about $21 US, either direct from Golden Age Simulations or via Sim Market, available now. In another ESP platform release, and this one's available for all of the ESP versions, is from the guys over at Perfect Flight with the Private Flight Cessna 172 Mission Pack. So, look, I'm going to be straight up and be honest here, is that I have issues with Perfect Flight. I have done for a really long time. I think that the aircraft, okay, so I'm just going to read directly what this says here. Fly the Cessna 172 SP Slyhawk in two different versions, standard and glass cockpit, in two special Perfect Flights liveries. It is literally the default one out of FSX. Just ripped out, reskinned, and dropped in. Like, they haven't even pretended to try and change the model. Everything is default FSX. Now, for those who might be wondering, yes, it does work in Lockheed Martin's prepared V4. Yes, it does. My fundamental issue with this is that I question whether or not they actually have a license to just wholesale grab it out of FSX and drop it in and sell and repackage it and sell it. I have issues with it. As I said, I've previously reviewed some of their products on my channel, and the way they reuse content from other developers, I question that. I also question now, as Perfect Flight do a range of mission packs, and as someone who makes missions for the ESP platform, I am all for missions. Like, and believe me, I have a couple. Hopefully, I'm hoping to release my own in the near future. But these are so generic, it's not funny. And like, here's the thing, right? And here's part of literally, this is part of the description of this, right? Okay, so step-by-step checklist procedures: pre-start taxi, before takeoff, after takeoff, descent, landing, parking with prompt menu. Okay, that's fine, great, yes, that's great, and you know, that's an important feature of this one. Crew announcements, speed calls and restrictions, captain speaking, GPWS, and much more. Fly for hours and hours for of very enjoyment in large range of scenarios. So tell me again what Cessna 172 has fitted with a GPWS or requires speed calls, speed restrictions, and captain speaking. What? And what Cessna 172 has a passenger in-flight entertainment system, which this apparently has? Like, what the hell? So I just look at this and go, okay, how much thought actually went into this? And I very much got my skeptical hat on here. So I really want to support it because it's their missions, and as I said, I'm a mission pack, I'm a creative myself, and I want to support them, but at the same time, I'm like, what the hell? So yeah. Anyway, if you are wanting to pick this one up, this one's coming in at $18 for your regional equivalent, available from Sim Markets. Alright, moving out of the ESP platforms and moving into X-Plane 11, and Orbix were the ones that were delivering releases this week for X-Plane 11, with 3 airports being released this week. So the first one is an interesting release for this one. So it's Israel's Farm. Israel's Farm is sort of a remote little bush strip, and one of the earliest releases for the Pacific Northwest, I'm pretty sure, that Orbix did back in the day, and it was it's almost like a showcase of what they could do back in the day. So it's great to see them bring it over into X-Plane 11. Now, the only reason why I say this one's a bit odd is because so, as many of you know, True Earth US Washington was released a few weeks ago by Orbix, which sort of coats the whole of PNW in this their beautiful True Earth photoreal scenery. But they also announced alongside that they will be releasing the version they released, and they're releasing an enhanced version in a few weeks' time. We're hoping to see it before, sort of. I think they're aiming before the end of August. I think they're aiming before the end of August to get that released. But the enhanced version essentially is a HD one where you get you get high definition textures, photoreal textures included rather than the standard def ones that are in there at the moment. But it also includes the new enhanced version will also include Israel's Farm as part of the release. So it's a bit odd that they've released it separately. I suppose in a way it's understandable for anybody who's not doing the update, but just be aware that if you buy this now, you're duplicating what you're going to get when you buy the enhanced version of True Earth US Washington state down in the future. So just be aware of that. If you are hanging out for the enhanced version of True Earth US Washington, I'd say hold off, don't buy this one, because I said you're going to get it anyway. If you're going to be sticking with the standard def of True Earth US Washington, then yeah, pick this one up. You get 40% off if you already are already the owner of the FSXM prepared version. So yeah, that's probably something to give you an idea of. Otherwise, for those who may not know about the effort, it's a beautiful little farm strip that's sort of in a valley in the state of Washington, with fully modeled farm and airstrip, with the township, including the town gas station, also included as well, with a range of nearby houses all modeled and accurate waterways all put in as well. Also, it's a bit of a challenging approach through the valley as well, and gives you a bit of a resting point if you are going between the other 2 airports that were released this week from Orbix. So if you do pick this one up, you're looking at I think it's 13 Australian, so about $10 US, about $9 US for that one if you want to pick that one up. So there you go. Now, as I said, there were two other releases, sort of more detailed releases this week from Orbix. And of course, the first one was 74S Anacortes Airport. So this one is one of their bigger airports in the region, and also one of the ones where they actually sort of start exploring helipads into many of their content as well. So this is a fairly busy sort of general aviation airstrip with high detail textures, extended coverage area, including the city of Anacortes and the surrounding area as well. Ultra high detail Deception Pass Bridge is also included as well. You also get two smaller local bush strips, and two additional heliports are included with this one as well. Over a dozen local landmarks accurately modeled, as well as the ground poly, including giving you a sloped runway as well. And of course, designed to blend seamlessly in with the True Earth US Washington as well. So this one's coming in at about $23 or your regional equivalent, available now from Orbix. And then the other release as well for this one, as I said, is 1S2 Darrington Municipal Airport. So this one, again, it's a nice sort of regional airport, sort of designed for servicing the town of Darrington. And so you got the airport. It's not only the airport is modeled, also the township is modeled as well. The beautiful mountain scenery, some photoreal scenery actually doing that as well. Accurate water masking if you are doing some water operations, and you also have a landable helipad at the nearby medical center as well. 3D ground poly, including a sloped runway again as well. Now this one's also coming in at $23. Now for both of these, you have got 40% discount if you are an existing owner of the ESP versions. You can get 40% off your purchase for these as well. So pretty beautiful, pretty amazing airports they are in the ESP platform. I love them in that one. So looking great in Orbix's release for X-Plane 11. All of these airports, of course, are available now from Orbix Direct. Alright, and that is the only X-Plane 11 release news I could find this week, funnily enough, this week. So moving straight out of there into AeroFly FS2. So, the first release for this one I'm going to touch on is... It's sort of like a re-release, as it were, and the fact that we were talking about this a few weeks ago, it might be a few months ago actually, which is when Just Flight released their Duchess, Model 76 Duchess for AeroFly FS2. I've done my review a few months ago, I know that, so that's available. I'll put the link in the description down below. So this one's now it's been re-released on the Steam platform, so you can now pick this one up on Steam if you are wanting to, if you didn't want to purchase direct from Just Flight, you have the option to purchase on Steam now. No difference, no additional content or anything like that, just simply moved over and released onto Steam. And this one's coming in at $40. Currently, though, is on a launch special for a few days at $36 or original equivalent, available now on Steam. In the other AeroFly FS2 release, also from Just Flight this week, they saw the release of their PA-28R Turbo Arrow 3.4 for AeroFly FS2. So, this is another one of their multi-platform aircraft. They've put it across on various platforms over the last few years and come out with a highly detailed 4K textures on a highly detailed 3D model built around a real-life aircraft plans and aircraft example. A fully interactive 3D cockpit with beautiful, highly detailed textures and featuring the fair wear and tear based on the reference photos of the real aircraft, with a variety of different color schemes for both versions are included as well. A full IFR avionics suite is included, including the KMA 20 audio selector unit, GNS 530, KN62 DME unit, the Piper Auto Control 3B autopilot unit. That thing is a bloody nightmare, by the way, can I just say, and a variety of other navs and comms radios as well. You've got a custom coded fuel and electrical system with functional circuit breakers are included as well, with a variety of liveries. I know a few people were complaining about their lack of American liveries, and unfortunately it looks like that's actually continuing here. You get 5 paint schemes for each of the versions. You get 5 for the Turbo Arrow 3 and 5 for the Turbo Arrow 4. 1 US livery for each is what you get for that one. You also have a authentic sound set are included from Turbine Sound Studios as well, with custom coded switches and sounds for all the various switches without the aircraft as well. So, as I said, this one's available now, coming in at $42 or your regional equivalent, available now from Just Flight. Alright, Alright, moving out of AeroFly FS2, we're moving into the world of DCS. So, the guys over at Maple Flag Missions have released their latest mission pack for DCS. This time around for a mission pack for the FA-18C Hornet. So this is an aggressor campaign, as you're placing you as part of an aggressor pilot as part of the VFC-12, the Fighting Omars, loaned to the 65th Aggressor Squadron at Nellis Air Force Base. So in this, you'll fly a series of exercises and fly as the Red Forces against the Blue Air Forces. You'll go through, you've got quite a few different missions coming through here. You've got 12 single-player practice missions within Air Starts, plus a variety of other missions are included as well to sort of get you through and get you familiarization with it, including a familiarization flight around the Nevada test and training range, and then a variety of challenges against both similar and dissimilar aircraft. You'll have a wide range of opponents, everything from the F4E Phantom, the F5E, all the way through the F-15s, Cs, Es, F-16s, Mirage 2000s, and then into the MiGs, including MiG-29, 21, and the Su-27. So, all in all, quite a lot with a variety of paperwork and with over 1,000 voiceovers and 45 pages of briefing material to give you some, and all based on actual red flag exercises. So, I must admit, pretty in-depth. Maple Flag have done quite a lot of stuff with the Nevada test and training range maps. And this looks like nothing less than looking amazing for this one as well. So this one's for release, not for the Steam edition, as we've come to expect from DCS World. They're sort of ignoring Steam guys for probably a few weeks or a few months. So looking at $10 or your original equivalent for the non-Steam version of DCS World, available from the DCS World store, available now. Alright, moving out of the flight sim world and moving into the world of the permanent way with Train Simulator 2019. So this week saw a couple of releases. The first one we saw this week was the release of a new route add-on, which is the Southwestern Mainline Southampton to Bournemouth route. So I've actually travelled on this route, actually, many years ago when I used to live in London. I've actually travelled on this, so you know, heading for a day down at the seaside. And that's actually sort of how this train line sort of, you know, came about and became surge in popularity. So it was originally built as part of a line from London to Southampton to sort of bring London and the ports sort of closer. And then it would go on and become very popular, because not only was it sort of taking workers, it would also be taking people out on holidays and day trips down to the seaside, and sort of, you know, take Londoners during the summer, during hot summer days, giving them summer specials down to the coast for the day for a week for their holidays. So it became a very popular line sort of when it first opened in sort of like the 1840s. And the version that we see now was actually finished in sort of the 1880s. There was another branch line built later that would actually extend it on further on, and actually connecting of jetties, jetty connection to allow for ferry connections to the Isle of Wight. But as I said, there's a lot of amazing stuff that's sort of down here. And this is how the line appears during it looks like the early 2000s, or the sort of early to mid 2000s. And this comes with 10 career scenarios. So you got seven engaging. So you got seven career scenarios, and you've got 3 railfan mode scenarios as well. Now this includes the 35-mile route from Southampton Central to Bournemouth. Plus you get a variety of sub branches as well. You've got 15 authentic stations and a beautiful picturesque new forest scenery are all included as well. You've got the British Rail Class 444 and British Rail Class 450 trains are included, with the variety of other coaches and the rolling stock are included as well. So all in all, a fairly comprehensive scenario pack, this one. So this was coming in for a fairly reasonable price, coming in at $25 or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. In the other release for the Train Simulator world, we saw the release of the Northeast Corridor Scenario Pack, number 1. So this is a 10 mission scenario pack for the train simulators Northeast Corridor, New York to Philadelphia route, and is based on actual operations of New Jersey Transit and Amtrak. So it goes through a variety of both passenger and commuting equipment, makes use of various different trains, including Amtrak's high-speed Acelia, the ACS 64, and New Jersey Transit's ALP 46 and ALP 45, amongst other items. It gives you go through various classic locations, including New York's Penn Station, which I have travelled out of, Philadelphia's 30th Street Station, and a variety of other things as well. Now, as with many of these scenario packs, of course, that you do require to have a variety of add-ons. Obviously, as a bare minimum, you need to have the New York-Philadelphia route add-on, but you will also have to make use of all 10 of them, a variety of others, so please make sure you check the required content before you purchase. Otherwise, this one's coming in a fairly standard cost, $10 US, so $1 per scenario, available now on Steam. Sticking with ground level, but moving on to the asphalt, this time with American Truck Simulator. And of course, the world's going a little bit nuts because it's, of course, the 50th anniversary of landing a man on the moon this weekend, with their release this week of the American Truck Simulator's Space Paint Jobs pack. So you get a variety of paint jobs. You've got 5 paint jobs which are suitable for all trucks. You've then got 2 paint jobs for specific trucks. So you've got a Lunar Reconnaissance one for the Peterbilt 389, the Kenworth W900, and you've got the Apollo 11 paint job for the Peterbilt 579, Kenworth T680, and the Volvo VNL. You also get a variety of bits of cabin accessories as well. You've got an air freshener Eagle, you've got an dangling Apollo lunar module, and a dangling astronaut, all part of your cabin fit outs as well, for a pretty cool price. It's pretty serious, it's $2, so not really exactly a lot to it, but if you want to add a bit of space flavor to your trucks, you can't really go wrong with this one, available now on Steam. Sticking with the asphalt, we're moving on to a rather quirky title that, remember, we ported on earlier in the year. Doesn't seem to have changed much, but we have Bus Driver Simulator 2019 and their latest piece of DLC, The Old Legend. Now, there is literally no information about this. It is so generic, it's not funny. It doesn't say what it is, it just simply says, and this is verbatim what I'm reading here, a small bus which was designed for short-range transportations. It was manufactured from 1967 to 1989. That's it. I got no manufacturer name, no vehicles, no nothing. They just got nothing, so I don't know. But if you're wanting to expand your Bus Driver Simulator 2019 experience for $2 US, you can add this unknown bus to your fleet now. Why? Anyway, moving on. Okay, so sticking with 4 wheels, but moving this time into the dirt. With Dirt Rally 2.0, I've released a brand new rally location, and this time returning to the beautiful rolling countryside in Wales. So this is a classic from the original Dirt Rally, and has been made a comeback based on player feedback, and it looks absolutely spectacular. I watched the trailer video that you guys are watching through on the screen at the moment, and I know how insane it is to be part of, like, to do one of these, to drive one of these, to do these rallies, because a certain relative of mine used to do it, but every time I hear it, it's just absolutely batshit crazy. So yeah, and sounding pretty good and pretty awesome, and just looks absolutely spectacular. So if you're wanting to add this location, this includes adding it for this. The Wales Rally will be accessible through My Team, Custom Championships, and time trial options. So this one's available for $4 US, or your regional equivalent, available now on Steam. Moving from the dirt and moving into the water with Fishing Sim World. So Fishing Sim World saw a bit of a reboot this week, but they sort of renamed their core sim to Fishing Sim World Pro Tour. So obviously they've redone some licensing. It looks like they got a few more names in there, and a few more brands have been added in. So it looks kind of interesting that that's been done. But alongside that, they also released a new piece of DLC, which is the Giant Carp Pack. So this includes 2 new fishing venues, the historic Raysbury One South Lake and Gilliam's Fishing Resort in Thailand. Both of these are primarily there for carp, but they also have a variety of other species that are included as well. You've got over 500 different carp. You've got 500 carp in the Raspberry Lake, and then you've got 5 different so you've got 5 new species of fish, along with several hundred fish of various species to be able to catch in the Gilliam's Fishing Resort option as well. So if you're into that kind of thing, this looks like a pretty cool thing. I've always think that the graphical engine that they've used, I'm pretty sure it's the Unreal Engine they've used. It's always been impressive. I tried my hand at this and I didn't get very far, but it was always kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, if you're wanting to do this and get this added on, just that you can pick this one up, this new piece of DLC up for $15 US, or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. And rounding out the simulation release news for this week, we've got a sort of title to come out for VR. It's a VR only title, and it's called Moon Buggy VR. So, everyone, of course, knows that sort of the famous footage of a rover sort of driving around on the moon. It was actually the last mission, Apollo 17. And that's what this aims to recreate. This aims to recreate sort of the feel of that, but it also puts a bit of a twist on it. So there's a couple of different modes that I'm sort of reading on this one. So it combines a lot of facts and a bit of fiction included in there as well. So they've actually taken what they're calling real moon. So they've actually taking actual images, sort of close-up images with satellite imagery and telescopic photos of the moon, and actually sort of putting it on there to give you that real moon feel. But they've also sort of making a bit of play on the sort of the situation as well, by giving you some sort of power-ups and some more game sort of aspects with these weird Stargate looking portal things and some parking spaces for your rover. But at the same time, you also interact with like the actual Apollo 17 lander and the excursion module, the lunar excursion module, and you sort of actually have to like dig up rocks and do some science experiments and stuff like that. So there's a lot of education that goes on here as well, and that's what I really like about it, and that's something that I literally do for a living. Like actually sort of working on games, or sort of software, and teaching it and making it engaging for students of all ages and all walks of life. So for me, that sort of that element of sort of gaming can be a very important learning tool. So yeah, it's great to see. It's how you build engagement. So this is very much, I think, it's really great to do, and how we can get and encourage STEAM for STEAM involvement for kids, for youth, and for all ages moving forward is through titles like this, which I think is pretty awesome. But yeah, as I said, it's a VR title only, so I will not be taking part with it, unfortunately, sadly. That makes me a bit sad, but anyway, otherwise, looking pretty damn awesome. So this one's coming in at, so normally it's $10, but it's because it's the Apollo sort of landing sort of memorial thing at the moment, you are looking at a fairly hefty discount at the moment, coming at $7.50, available now on Steam. As I said, that rounds out the NovaWrap for this week. So folks, thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.